Wow, couldn't start the show with a better song than that. That's Ray Charles, America the Beautiful. I am so pleased to be here with you and for you. My name's Lewis Herms. This is Screw Big Gov, and you're watching News, Views, and Conspiracies. Woohoo! Oh, wow. It's been a crazy July, as predicted. Um, it's been I think, a humbling July for a lot of people. Um, there is, how do we say this? Many people have reached out and said via chat and so on and so forth that their energy levels are all wacky this month. Tons of people aren't sleeping, so on and so forth. And the reality is, a lot of stuff that is happening, I believe, is part of the ascension process. Now, when we say ascension process, that can manifest in several different ways for billions of people. My personal belief of the ascension process, I'm not saying we're bringing us into 4D, 5D, 472D, nothing like that. I'm saying that it's we are figuring out that we have a direct connection with God, and the abilities, the God-given abilities, are within inside of us, and therefore we're ascending within inside of ourselves to be better for everybody. Is what I feel. And this process alone, take out the cabal controlled negativity where they're trying to suppress our pineal gland and our pituitary system and all our vibrations. Take that aside. Growth is always a tough go. And if you don't feel uncomfortable, you're not pushing yourself as far as you should probably push yourself, in my opinion, because the best growth that I have found comes through being uncomfortable, and then you move to the next level. It's like a muscle. So let's say you can do a certain exercise, and you can lift a 100 pounds. You're like, I'll never be able to lift more than 100 pounds. You keep pushing, you're pushing yourself, and in a year you're at 180 or 200 pounds pushing the exact same exercise. Well, if you didn't push yourself past where you thought you could go, because we can always go past where we think we can go. If you didn't do that, you wouldn't have growth in that area. And then you look back and you're like, well, 100 pounds, that's easy. I'm just throwing that stuff all over the place. This is, I believe, how we are doing it within inside of our mind. Look at yourself 4 years ago in this process, the awakening process. Many of you, including myself, would never believe what I believe today. You would have told me 6, 8 years ago that it's possible that Project Looking Glass would have something to do with what we're doing today. I would have said, cuckoo. Now I can say it with a straight face. Now, whether you agree with me or disagree with me is fine. But the fact that we are in a position to grow like this, I think, is epic. So sometimes we need to take a deep breath and appreciate where we are, because I believe that the acceleration of personal growth and ascension probably has never been this quick throughout time. So you are in a very special place right now. Now, that doesn't mean it's easy, as we're talking about. Now you add into it the spiritual demonic spell casting forces that are trying to suppress you. It's tough. So you find your connection with spirit, you protect yourself, don't let other people or spirits come inside and do damage to you, because they will. And I believe, and I really know, this is just a knowing, we are going to a place that is so incredibly special, but we have to go through these trials and tribulations to get there. I have no idea why I said that. It's just something I felt that I need to say all of a sudden. So, folks, it's hard to find us. So, can you follow, and share for sure? And somebody asked me today, are you still on TikTok? I go, oh, yeah, we're always on all these things, but they get changed out and taken down all the time. So what we've done, thanks to Lisa Richards, is she's created a wonderful website. Right at the top are all of our social media links. And that's incredibly important because when we get knocked off of something, you just go to screwbiggov.com and you're going to be right there looking at the social media links. And that is the easiest way to find us. And in addition to that, make sure you sign up for the newsletter. Take a peek at my beautiful wife. She's right there. Man, she looks short. Holy crap. I think she's about 3'7" there, and I'm 6 feet. So good luck on that one, honey. Anyways, there's also, you want to find our movies that we've done, like Cages or 2020 Vision, something on deuterium. It's all there. All of our films, you can connect there. Any of the products that you resonate with, we make sure we vet them. They're the best of the best, in my opinion. You can go there. And of course, if you'd like to donate and support the Unity Tour or something else, you can go there. And we are coming up with some amazing swag. As soon as Lisa and I can get working on the new website, oh my Lord, you will be blown away of what we're going to have. So go to screwbiggov.com. Now, if you want to get the information that we've put on a lot of these shows and some of the clips and so on and so forth, Robert Imbrielli does a phenomenal job at this. So just go to his Telegram channel at Renegade Media, at Renegade Media. Now, speaking of Robert, right after we're done here, we are going to go live to Robert's channel, and he's going to we're going to have a few special guests on there, and Robert is and I are going to host with probably Bruce Poppy will be on there, Lance Shetler, and a whole bunch of other people to drop in. And we are going to do what? We are going to watch President Trump's speech tonight live. So you guys can join us. As soon as Robert has it hooked up tonight, we're going to head on over there as soon as we're done here directly. We'll put the links in the description. So you may have to refresh to get that, or you'll get the links in the chat immediately. If you're watching recording, no worries. You can still go over there and you'll be able to watch it. And make sure you follow Robert when you're over there, because that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this is I want his subscribers to go up. So we'll be doing that tonight, which will be a lot of fun. And you're the first speaker you're going to see when we hop over there will be Tucker Carlson. And then you'll get to see, we'll speak, and then Hulk Hogan will come on. We'll speak, and then Eric Trump will come on. We'll speak, and then Dana White will come on. And then we'll speak, and then the great President Trump will speak also. And I hear it is going to be epic. In fact, Kid Rock just put out a video saying you pretty much better watch this. It's like people are going down. So very interesting. I can't wait to do that. So we're going to head over there in about an hour from now, about an hour and 5 minutes from now. We're going to head over there, guys. And then you'll be able to see President Trump speak. His actual speech is at 9:09 Eastern. Yes, they scheduled it 9:09 Eastern. Interesting enough, as you said, I believe President Trump is 18. 9 and 9 is 18. Coincidence? I don't know. All righty. So I know y'all came here for the Q&A. Boom. Let's go right into it. Oh, by the way, if you have any questions, if we have time, we'll get to them. No sense I'm putting them in chat now because I won't even have a chance to look at them. A kind of a one-man show today. Here we go. We'll look at them at the end if we have a chance. First question. Oh, by the way, I haven't looked at these yet, so I'm flying by the seat of my pants. Who then drop out, and then there's a like a council of 12 independent people that are just DNC only, if I remember correctly, and they could choose who the Democratic running mate is. Looking at that's probably not constitutional, but whatever. Anyways, that was the goal originally, and I believe they were grooming Gavin Newsom for this because Gavin Newsom was flying all over, meeting dignitaries, and look who came to meet Gavin Newsom. Xi of China came to San Francisco, and before he so that's all very interesting. Who knows what they're going to do? I think this is a dog and pony show at this point. Whether you're looking at a complete movie on that side or whether the deep state's involved, it's still a dog and pony show. All I would say is just stay united, stay grounded, and know that we've got this. There's nothing they can throw at us that will stop us because God will intervene, in my opinion. Next question. Do you know if JD Vance is a member of Yale Skull and Bones. Okay. Here's where I think people get confused. People assume because you went to Yale University, you're part of Skull and Bones. I think the only president that was George H.W. Bush, I think. And I think it was him, not his son. But, anyways, just because you go to Yale, you're not part of Skull and Bones. But look at how influential Yale is in the presidents and the vice presidents. I believe there's been 6, I believe, but Gerald Ford, Yale. George H.W. Bush, Yale. Bill Clinton, Yale. George W. Bush, Yale. Now, if I didn't think we were in some form of an operation, that would really concern me because I just named 4 extraordinarily deep state presidents right there. They're about as deep state as they get. So that would concern me normally. That doesn't mean he went to school. He was part of Skull and Bones, but he definitely was part of Yale. So we'll see what happens. President Trump does things for a reason. I kind of look at JD Vance as more of an infiltrator. I know people are looking at his background and they're saying this is all bad. I believe President Trump was an infiltrator into many groups. I believe it might be the same with JD Vance. I've already debunked one thing just today. I haven't posted that his height was not 5'7". That was a misprint. It's always been about 6'2". So, and I can't show that that looks like a previous JD Vance and now this is a new one. So I can't show that. So just letting you know what I'm seeing there. All right, next question up. If there have been 22 plus assassinations on Trump previously, I heard 40 by the way, but if there have been 22 on him previously, why think any loud noise would send him into defense mode instantly? Well, so depending on the caliber of the bullet, it generally will travel fast. I mean, depending on the caliber and the type of weapon, it will travel faster than the speed of sound anyway. So it's not like he'll hear it and then react. I think he reacted because of the pain that what hit his ear. I know everyone wants to say it's an actor, it's all fake, blah 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 blah. There's even somebody out there that's saying if a hollow point bullet would have hit his ear, it would have taken off part of his head. They don't understand at all. I can tell you based on the tapering of a hollow point bullet and based on the soft flesh that's on the ear, it could graze your ear, it could cut it based on the speed, and the hollow point based on the tapering of the bullet would have never hit it anyway. So that's a misnomer. Everybody wants to be something on the internet. The reality, though, is I believe, and if you've looked at the video about Project Looking Glass and Q and Trump, you'll understand where I'm going with this. If you haven't looked at it, you may want to go back and look at it. We did it yesterday, I believe, on this channel. I believe that they mitigated as much of this as possible, and he did get hit, but this is the one scenario that was probably the least damage, but it also would work to the benefit of the good guys at the same time. It's way crazy talk, I understand. Just go watch the video and you'll see where I'm going on that. Hope that answered that question. All right. Alex Jones is waking people up to the new world order and their evil deeds. How can he be working for the bad guys? Okay. Good question. Here we go. I don't know if anybody recalls this, but Robert David Steele said, we will not win this war without reconciliation, which resonated with me. I also believe there could have been what we call bad guys, but if they didn't touch children, I believe many of them were given a chance by the good guys and had a talking to. I don't think it's a coincidence that Newsmax was looking a lot like controlled opposition. They had a talking to, and the next thing you know, they were pro Trump. Joe Rogan flipped. Tucker Carlson flipped. Elon Musk, which I do believe is a 2.0, by the way, flipped also. So a lot of these people are going to have to be used. Maybe JD Vance was a deep state actor before, right? But now he's seen the light and he's all in. So I think we really need to pay attention to these stuff. So I do believe Alex Jones was more than likely part of Mossad. I do believe Fox News and Alex Jones were playing the same game. So I'll give you a correlation with that. Alex Jones said he had all the information on Sandy Hook, but it didn't look like his attorneys even tried to present any evidence, even when the judge was trying to deny stuff. So that was odd in itself. That felt like controlled opposition. Just like the Fox News was all in on exposing Dominion, but when came time to show it, they didn't show anything. So that's what control opposition does. They draw you in, they get you sucked into a narrative, and then they drop the ball completely. And then suddenly you're like, oh, I guess Sandy Hook was all fake, and I guess Dominion is okay. It's a game that they play. So that was one of my concerns with Alex Jones. I do believe that he could have been flipped to working with the good guys now. We'll have to say. You see, by the way, there's without traitors and infiltration. That's just the way it works. The question is, are we doing the best on our side, the good guys? And I think we are now. What's the best way to overcome shadow banning and censorship? It's hard to not become discouraged and give up. Well, this is a hard question for me because um, I can definitely tell you, well, just based on my experience, our channel seems to be shadow banned more than most that I see. I've had two people call me that are in the know and said that my channel is attacked more than most channels, which is crazy. But the game they've played, which is the shadow banning, which is really, really tough. So on the original Twitter, I would post something, and on my average within 20 minutes I would get 1,100 impressions, which means it was getting out there, and then it would grow and grow and grow, and some things went viral. Now, not now, but then what happened is Elon Omar and proved that she was wrong on something. And the next thing you know, the next day I would post something and I would average not 1,100 impressions in 20 minutes. I'd be lucky to get 60 in an hour. And then on that same channel, I exposed the Khazarian Mafia. By the way, when Elon owned Twitter, and they deleted my account. So they went from shadow banning to deleting the account. So then I started a new account, couldn't get any traction. It was literally shadow banned from the first day, couldn't get anything on it whatsoever. So to ask me how to overcome shadow banning, the only thing I'm going to say, and this is what we're going to do here, it's tough if you don't have an organization that follows what you do. So I'm lucky, I'm blessed and humbled to say that I do have that. So what we're going to do here is starting probably next week, we're going to be putting out everything that we put on social media. We'll put it on Telegram. We're going to ask for your help, guys. Hey, can you repost this or retweet it or retruth it or whatever the names are for these stuff? Forward it, because the only way we found out to beat shadow banning is to actually have people engage with us intentionally and to forward it out, because they don't shadow ban everybody. They just generally shadow ban the principal. So I did some testing. We spent some money this week and did a bunch of testing on this just by seeing if we can get our word out there. And the promotions that we pay for did work, which indicates that you can forward it, and they're not shadow banning the forwarding posts. They're only shadow banning the original. So this is how to get around it. It says it's hard to not become discouraged and give up. It is. I go through my moments. My wife kind of laughs at me sometimes because I'll go through about 40, 50 seconds of depression. And it's about right. It's true because I go, oh God, I just says, oh, I guess can't handle this anymore. And then boom, I go, nope, get going, pull yourself up, let's go. So I don't like to dive into that. So it is hard. So the best information I could give in regards of how not to give up, just know that you're here for a bigger purpose, and people are seeing your messages and you're making an impact, whether the numbers say so or not. I know this personally because I don't think I'm making much of an impact, and then every place I go, people are stopping me and talking to me. So clearly, the word's getting out there. Um, it's just a matter of not looking at the numbers. Maybe you're making a bigger impact than you actually think you are, which is that would be God's way to do things, in my opinion. Anyways, He's going to overcome all that crap. All righty. Tom in there is saying George W. Bush was Skull and Bones. That would mean that they both were, because his father definitely was. So that would mean two of them were. Um, can you explain what deuterium is and why it's harmful to us? Okay, I do talk about deuterium a lot, and I don't explain it. I did a film called Watch the Water, Trump, Q, and Deuterium, which got really great reviews. A lot of people saw it, which is cool. So let me just break it down really easy. What deuterium is in virtually every water source on the planet. So don't think you can avoid it. Oh, but I drink well water or structured water, or my water comes from a spring or a glacier. But doesn't matter. The only two places that I know of that are lower in deuterium, and I say lower because even those have it, are there's a place near Tibet where the water runs over a glacier, and I'll explain why that matters, and a place in high altitude Russia that does the same thing. So, deuterium is an isotope. This is why you cannot filter it out. Everybody goes, oh, just get a filter, just boil it, just do this. I've got the best filter in the world, or I've got Kong and blah, 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 blah. It's an isotope. So you can't filter out an isotope. It's actually attached to the hydrogen molecule itself. And the way it works is we have about 155 parts per million of deuterium in our water, and it actually directly affects our pineal gland. I believe somehow the baddies over time have figured out to get this into every water source to dumb us down. It also is, if it's reduced from 155 to about 125, which is natural in Tibet and these high altitude mountain in Russia, the average lifespan is between 125 years old. Average in those small little areas. Why is that? Because deuterium freezes at 1 degree Fahrenheit less than water does. So when it's running over these glaciers before it falls, the water runs over the top of them and it grabs the deuterium and it goes over. I've also explained that deuterium is a fuel. And I think a lot of sci-fi movies, they use the name deuterium as a fuel, not because they're using it, because I think that's part of their predictive programming and their disclosure. So I don't want to go more into it now, but you can go see the movie. You just go to screwbiggov.com and I'm sure you can find it there. It's really, really crazy. And it's something we need to look at. By the way, this is why I think everybody talks about fluoride mainstream now, because it's a diversion. We can all complain and worry about fluoride and filter it out. We're still getting our fill of deuterium, unfortunately. All righty. Forever young. That's right. Let me do this real quick. There we go. I'm actually learning how to do this stuff. Just go to screwbiggov.com/pets if you want to get what I think is the best pet food and nutrition on the planet. We have a lot of people that have gotten tremendous results. One of the most phenomenal results is my friend Robert. As you know, I've met his cat, Thumper, and he was very lethargic when I first met him. He's 15 years old. He went on, I believe it was the super sauce and the food, and now he's jumping all over the place, catching 6, 7 mice a day. He's loving life. I mean, what a complete transformation. We've seen the same thing with our dogs. So I would at least try it out, guys. The fact that people reorder all the time is a great, great sign. So go to screwbigov.com/pets. All righty. How do you personally view the events and developments that have occurred since before the 2020 election? So I'm not all in on it's all a movie. I believe we are truly in a war, and I do believe that much of it is scripted to wake us up. I think also much of it is scripted in order to hide the truth. I is not the guy that you see saying he's Joe Biden. 100%. In fact, he looks like he's the third or fourth body double. Do I believe he's a clone? No. Do I believe clones exist? Yes, I think they do. I do not think they're as prevalent as people would like to make it known. I think it's a lot tougher to reproduce and control a clone that it is just to get an actor, a paid actor to do your bidding, because they have the technology to put masks on these people and even warp their face and through CGI and everything else. Really, really easy. I saw them do this live. I already knew it existed, technology, but when I saw them CGI Simon Cowell on America's Got Talent, the reason why I put that video out, because it shows you if they can do it live. Can you imagine? And if they're showing you that technology there, they're way, way, way past the technology. So it's pretty incredible stuff. So I when you say what are the developments from pre-election to now, I don't feel like it's all a movie. Because all right, let's see what we've got. Okay, what happened to JFK Jr. being Trump's vice president? Is he really alive at all? So I'm going to answer the second part first. I believe he is alive based on my research into his wife, because without a shadow of the doubt and doing facial recognition, I believe she's still alive. So I think it's very plausible that he is also. So let's go to the first part of the question. What happened to JFK Jr. being Trump's vice president? So the question maybe you should ask is, who gave you the information? Is the person putting out the information originally honorable? Did we just pick up on the information and say that's the way it's going to be because we want it to be that? Is there any factual to that? Were they using this just for hopium, clickbait? This is what tends to happen in the patriot community. We grasp onto things as if they're real, right? This is why I see a lot of times it's my opinion. I don't know. This is what I'm thinking. That's authenticity. We grasped onto JFK Jr. is going to be vice president. As soon as he says JD Vance is my vice president pick, we're like, oh man, what's going on? This is horrible. Well, if we didn't grasp onto the mythology in the first place, would we be disappointed? We did the same thing with Nasara Jasara. By the way, I do think there's a form of Nasara Jasara. For some reason, I'm the only one person out there saying if you want to see what it's probably going to look like, just look to what Gaddafi did in Libya and you may see what it looks like, and it'll be awesome. But it's not what the Nasara Jasara pundits have promised you. They don't freaking know. They don't know if JFK Jr. is going to be president. Now, let's take the facts, or let's take what looks like the facts, or some circumstantial evidence. It appears that his wife is alive. So it's natural to say he's alive too. So yes, I do believe 100% that he's alive. Now, that's because I saw some evidence and put some things together. Now, because somebody tells me that he's going to be vice president, why am I going to believe that? You know, is there a document? Is there something that you can show me? I don't know. So I try to be very pragmatic because I think that's the responsible thing to do for you that's watching, because I don't want you to go down a road that may or not be true. I believe, and I said it's in my first film, 2020 Vision, I believe the reveal of JFK Jr. would be the keystone to the emotional bringing back everybody together. Does he need to be vice president for that to happen? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He just needs to come up on stage, prove he's JFK Jr., and I believe the world would come together over that, especially when they explain their story. So he doesn't have to be vice president. So I, that's that. Ethan would probably call that patriot mythology. That's just my opinion. I believe he probably has a bigger platform not being vice president as being, because he doesn't need to be helping run the country whatsoever. I believe he can be the mouthpiece to bring unity, which is where Trump is focused on right now. Well, look at that stuff right there. As you know, I tell you all the time, I'm 124 years old, but I only look 84. That's because of Neumi spray. It's Neumi skin, which is awesome. The purple one is hers, which the ladies seem to like a lot because the purple one actually makes them feel better, helps stop the cramping, the PMS symptoms. So it's for young and elderly. It works a lot post menopause, during menopause, and for young ladies, we heard it works for also. And then, of course, there's Numi Swish, that is the most powerful glutathione on the planet. And the results I've seen people get from this just absolutely will blow you away. So just go to screwbiggov.com/Numi, and you can click on it right there. All right. Well, I think we only have 2 questions left. So, guys, you can start in capitals only. If you have any questions, put them in capitals, please, and I'd appreciate it. I'm going to see if I've got Robert's link yet. Still doesn't look like we have the link to the show that we're all going to be on. If you missed it, guys, Robert Ian Burrell is going to be hosting tonight. Right after this, we can hop on his channel, and you're going to be able to see Tucker Carlson speak live, Hulk Hogan speak live, Eric Trump speak live, Dana White speak live, and then, of course, President Trump speak live. And in between those guests, Robert, myself, possibly Bruce Poppy, Lance Shuttler, and maybe somebody else will help break down what we're seeing and have great conversations with each other. So this should be an exciting show. I'm just waiting for the link because I want to make sure I can give it to you. So right when we're done here, it looks like he's posting it right now. Okay, cool. So I'll have that link ready for you when we're done here. That sounds great. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okie dokie. So next question up. On J6, Trump told people to go home and he got accused of inciting a riot. At the rally, he yelled, "Fight, fight, fight." What do you think will come of this? I think it's a great way to draw the media out, because here's the way I think it could be handled within especially social media. So just to give you an idea, even a few years ago, you know, when the media said something, it could have traction for several days, sometimes weeks, where people would believe that narrative. Now, within minutes, people on X and other platforms are completely destroying the fake deep state narrative. So here's the way I think it could go. So if anybody says anything, and they'll say, "Oh, look, that's because Trump said fight, fight, fight," right? It's very easy. I always say, "Oh, that's funny," because 5 days after Biden says put 5 Republicans won the seat on the Board of Supervisors, oh, suddenly a bunch of ballots came in, and in the morning, all 5 of them lost their seat. And guess what the Republicans did? Do you hear that? Do you hear it? I can hear it. Nothing. Crickets. Cheep, cheep, cheep. Nothing. They didn't zero. So the reality is the conservatives and or the Republicans have been extraordinarily passive at all their responses. And they've had deep state Sean Hannity giving them directions, and they just follow along like robots. Where deep state Sean Hannity, deep state CIA Sean Hannity would say, whatever you do, right? Don't you protest. No, 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 that's bad, bad, bad. Whatever you do not boycott another company. We would never do that, right? I just had somebody on X today was scolding uh, people for doxing these idiots that are saying, I wish they didn't miss Trump, or maybe the next time they won't miss him. So they're getting doxed and they're scolding them. We're not like that. Don't be like that. Don't dox them. Oh, wah, shame on you. Don't do that. Okay. And they said, oh, and the reason why is because they have freedom of speech. Okay, be very clear. The First Amendment, right, says no laws should be created by Congress to suppress your freedom of speech. From a social aspect, if somebody's saying that sorry, I'm okay, you go ahead and dox them. People need to be at least their employers should know this is what they're doing, and to say, if you're going to hold a person like this in your business, we're going to hold you accountable. I have no issue with that. So, and that does not an invasion of freedom of speech. But this is how we've been conditioned, and people don't understand this is the conditioning of conservatives to suppress them. It's no different than some preacher standing in front of a church quoting Matthew 5:5, the meek shall inherit the earth, without telling you what the true meaning of meek is. The true meaning of meek isn't weak, docile, and keep your mouth shut and everything's going to come to you. Does that even make sense? No. But if you look at the origins of meek tell you it's strength. It's one that protects somebody else, one that stands up for principles. The actual origins also go through Turkey, and there's a horse called Prowse, which is the strongest, most protective horse there is. That's meek. So how dare these churches and these preachers and pastors misinterpret or manipulate you to thinking what meek is? Exactly the same thing that these knuckleheads out there are doing with the conservatives for decades. That's why we are where we are. Now, contrast that to President Trump. Does he look like a dude that's meek? Or does he look like a guy that I'm not going to take any crap? I'm going to fight, fight, fight. Has he not been a catalyst for us getting past this brainwashing? I think he has. I'm hoping that this is a motivator for people to know that their voice needs to be heard. FBI, their voice needs to be heard. 3-letter agencies, I said their voice needs to be heard. I'm not passionate about that at all. All righty, what do we got? Ooh, we got a conspiracy question. Where's my tinfoil hat when I need it? It says, I don't think the real Trump has shown his face for a long time. Do you think the real Trump would put himself in harm's way by being in the public? You know, this is a great, great question. And I've said this many times, so let's revert back. Since almost the beginning, where there have been so-called leaders running countries, there has been body doubles in their place. I can tell you all throughout Egypt, the pharaohs, in Greece for sure, the Romans. I make a joke. I go, the only person that never had a body double is Napoleon, because they couldn't find one short enough to portray him. But there's been body doubles forever. Kings and queens have always had body doubles. I mean, a lot of body doubles. And they were willing to put them in harm's way. Now, so do I think Trump has doubles out there? Yes, I do think he has doubles out there. Some of it I think is more for appearances. Do I believe that his body doubles, think about this, are put in harm's way? So if you're President Trump, would it be hard? Because I believe he's an absolute caring individual. I don't care what the deep state apparatus tries to say about him. I think he's absolutely a caring individual. Would you think that President Trump would be okay saying, "Hey, I need you to be my boss"? That's the one. Crazy, I know, guys. I think that's more plausible than the scenario that the body doubles are always going to be out there and put in harm's way. I do think for some events and some speaking and so on and so forth, and the golfing sometimes, absolutely. I don't think wholly he's been deep underground in Wyoming or wherever you think he is. I'm open to being completely wrong. All I want is the ball move forward, and ultimately everything's handed back to we the people. That's all I care. Under God, by the way. So I don't know. You think he may not have shown his face for a long time? Maybe. I think you are probably can see both. To be honest with you. Okay, people looks like people are starting to put some of their questions in here, which is great. Last question that's already here, and then I'll go to the ones that are in chat. Why isn't General Flynn at the RNC? All right. So this is a conundrum for me always. I have good friends, and I have people that are actually on the Flynn team that are not quite happy with me that I don't fully endorse General Flynn. And then I have people that absolutely, and you know some of these people, that have been trying to expose General Flynn as a baddie. I'm still undecided. So it's funny, it's both sides of the connections I have are they're not completely happy with me because I'm undecided. But I'm undecided because that's what's resonating with me is there's no better person to run a psyop than General Flynn. So knowing that gives me pause immediately. So I don't know exactly what his thought process is because I've seen him do a couple of things that are very, very odd. Well, one is he was on with Doug Billings. Doug Billings asked him if there's a plan. He goes, if there is a plan, I couldn't tell you, Doug, right? That's one thing. And then asked about President Trump, and they bet on with wine and all this stuff, and that got kind of weird. And then he comes out and he does the "Where We Go On, We Go All" speech, which is clearly a homage to Q. And then after that, he completely denies that Q is anything. So do you see the on again, off again game that he's playing? So that's undeniable, by the way. All those are embedded in history on video, audio, and on chat. So that wishy-washy stuff is undeniable. He's a smart dude. So I would say that he's doing that intentionally. Therefore, I am unwilling to take a side in regards to that because he could be playing a bad guy and he's a good guy. He could be playing a good guy and he's the bad guy. So why isn't General Flynn at the RNC? I don't know. Maybe he's more important than this than anybody could possibly imagine. And generally, for some form of continuity of government, they wouldn't put certain people in rooms together unless they can protect them 100%. Could be as crazy as that, right? So that could be why General Flynn's not at the RNC. I would think he would be there because he's been endorsing Trump lately. So it is very odd, and it's a great, great question. All right. So any questions you have to be in capitals, guys, or I will not see them. I'm going to go back through the comments really quick here and seeing if I can see any in here. And then in about 15 minutes, we're going to head over to Robert's channel. And do me a favor, guys, at minimum, when I put the link in, go to Robert's channel and follow him. Let's see if we can build his audience up today. That would be a great gift for him. Okay, what do we got here? Interesting. Oh, okay, I was going the wrong way. Sorry about that. All right, let's go. I'm only going to start a few minutes ago on these questions. All right, here we go. And I apologize if I missed one. You may have to put it in again, but we only have about 15 minutes to this point right now. All right, here we go. Okay, somebody put a bunch of stuff in caps, but it's not a question, so I will bypass that. Another one. Guys, don't put it in caps, please, if it's not a question. I'm a one-man show right now, and all it does is derail me here. Okay, so there's a good question. If the All right, wouldn't people who are in the vicinity of prominent people in mass be able to tell by their voices? Okay, so they've had this voice changing technology. In fact, the CIA used it in the 70s. So there's just an apparatus that they can put under the mask right here, and you can change your voice dramatically. You can make it a lot lower, and you can make it really high, and you can change the cadence of it also, because they're also trained actors at the same time. So it's one of the easiest things to do. The technology is not out in the public, but I can tell you for sure, I've heard that it's been out there since the 70s. They've been able to voice modulate and help a person if they haven't been able to grasp the complete voice. They can help a person get it even better. Not to mention, I would say if they're close or they're family members, they already know they've signed an NDA. They're probably being paid off just to keep their mouth shut. So that could be also a possibility also. And also I believe they keep these people completely busy, so they're not spending as much time with friends and family members as that they may have. We'll see, right? This is all speculation. I hope you appreciate that about us on this program is we don't know, we don't know. We're just speculating, letting you know that's what we're doing. Um, all right. Is the Secret Service a private entity? Why would any president trust an agency with their life that is connected with the CIA under commands of the other political party in Trump's case? Now, it's a brilliant question, actually. The Secret Service is, I would say, they're paid by the government, so let's call it a government entity, and their Secret Service. And by the way, I've spoken to more than a few Secret Service or past Secret Service agents, and I can tell you they are conditioned to be extraordinarily unbiased. They don't want to take a side. They have a job, no matter what the job. And I think many Secret Service agents are kind of, how do I say it, conditioned or even MK Ultra in a positive manner, where it's like no matter what, I'm conditioned. I'm gonna jump in front. I'm gonna take that bullet for the president. I just have a job. They're very robotic at what they do. So your question is, so why would a president trust an agency with their life that is connected with the CIA under commands of the other political party in Trump's case? Well, the general apparatus of the CIA would be to protect anybody, knowing also that they're probably going to be working for Trump in the future. They would. I was told this was the B team, though. They pulled the A team off and they put the B team there. Again, there's something bigger at heart here, whether it's a movie or whether it's Project Looking Glass that I've mentioned, which you may want to go watch. It's something much bigger. So if it's Project Looking Glass, it really doesn't matter because they already know what the outcome is, right? So putting an inept team there just exposes the deep state even more. So your question is fair if we're dealing in side of the matrix, but I think this is a lot bigger than that. And that is total conspiratorial. I do understand. Let's see. What do we got here? Lewis, but why did Obama want to lock him up, and why did Trump pardon him? Well, exactly. That's one of the reasons why I think that he may not be a bad guy. But why does he do these on and again, off again with Q, and completely playing with the public? Why was he one of the last people to endorse President Trump? Why is he not seen with President Trump, and why is he not at the RNC? So exactly my point. He shows there's a lot that would demonstrate that he's good, and there's a lot that demonstrates that he's not. So it doesn't matter if you think he's a good guy or a bad guy. He's playing games with us, and that's he's we're talking about General Flynn. He's definitely playing games. No two ways about it. I've I've had a conversation with somebody on the Trump team specifically about this, and he agrees that he is playing games, but he didn't want to get into it with me. So, because I think he knows I'm too close to the truth, which, by the way, happens all the time, which is a good thing. That question keeps popping up. If you could not keep putting it up, I'd appreciate it. Do you think JFK Sr. has been alive through all of this and a big part of Q? All right. So I'm going to tell you honestly, I hope so. One of the reasons why I don't know or I don't know that he is because I don't know that they had the brain surgery technology in the early 60s that we have now to save somebody, where it's you have a chance to save them anyways, especially with the caliber of bullet that would blow the back of your head off. So I don't know if they would have had that technology back then, although I know the technologies are hidden. So maybe we did, but if he was against the deep state, would he even had access to that technology? So that's kind of why I'm not quite sure. And the other thing is, you've seen pictures, three different pictures of three different guys that they're saying is the current JFK. Again, that's it. If I only saw one, I'd say okay, maybe he is, but I'm not quite sure on that one, to be honest with you. The people that claim they are JFK and JFK Jr., I can tell you right now, are not. They're full of shit. So as long as they're coming out there telling you they are, I think you have the answer to who they really are, because they would never disclose that. Not like this. I'm skipping the questions because I really don't understand it. Doesn't look like it's finished, maybe. Do you think Looking Glass can see particular individuals, or how's that work exactly? I think it sees events more than individuals. I do believe that remote viewers can see individuals, and some can see into the future. We've had oracles since the beginning of humanity, and you've had Nostradamus, you've had Kim Clement, and a whole bunch of other people that clearly are seeing things in the future. I don't know how clear they see them. Product Looking Glass, from what I've read, which is not a lot, seems to be looking more at events and scenarios, and not like following an individual around. So I would have to opt out and say I'm not quite sure, and I wish I could answer that question, but I really, really don't know. And I'm not going to speculate because that's unfair to you. Okay, we're about done here, guys. I'm just going to see. Jay. Let's see. Have you considered that the whole attempt was faked? It seemed to inspire many convenient narratives. Yeah, I think you should watch the video that I did on Looking Glass, Trump, and Q to really answer that question. It's a previous video of that, and I think it would really help answer that question and articulate my thoughts. That's a long answer. I think elements of it could have been faked, but I don't think wholly it was faked. Okay. Okay, guys, I wish I could get to the rest of these questions, and I appreciate that you want to ask them, but we're getting to a point where we need to switch over channels. Actually, we can take probably one or two more here. Because Tucker Carlson's going to speak in 15 minutes, so we definitely want to be on Robert's channel to see that. Okay, let's go with this one. Lewis, do you think NDAs are compartmental, or do they go by years, or does everyone have the same NDAs? Okay, elements of the NDAs are non-disclosure agreements are absolutely the same because there's a certain protection mechanism in there. More importantly, there's a certain accountability mechanism within sight of that. I also believe that if people signing the NDAs are also getting paid off at the same time, right? So they are also compartmentalized for that person, and certain information within a box you can say or not say something in regards to that. And part of it could have been deals. Let's say mode, he was held accountable, and they told his brother, blah, 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 you have an opportunity to forward our agenda. Here's all the proof about your brother. We're going to pay you this and this. If you say anything, though, you're going to be held accountable directly, and you're going to get Mo. It's a pretty big incentive. So I think that's probably more likely how it happened. Okay, guys, I think that does it for the questions right now. I know you got a lot more in there, and I appreciate that, but we have to get to this. So I'm copying the link. So as soon as, if you want to go over, I'll play us out with our, I'm not going to show the Unity Tour video. I don't have time right now, but we'll play out our regular outro, which is about 2 minutes, and then head over to see Robert. I'll be on his channel in a couple minutes also. He's on there waiting for us right now. In fact, let me double check, see if I see him. Give me a second. I said he's going live, so give it a second. So anyways, here's the link, guys, in the chat. I'm going to put it in description right now. Going in the description also as we speak. In fact, I will put it on top for you all. You will have to refresh to see the description if you're watching this live. Trump speech and more right here. All righty. So now I also have it in the description. Renegade Media TV, and I'd love for you guys to join us because we're going to watch Tucker Carlson speak. We're gonna watch who else is that? We're gonna watch Hulk Hogan speak, Dana White speak, Eric Trump speak, and of course President Trump. Plus we'll have on there Lance Shuttler and most likely Bruce Poppy and some other guests to do some commentary in the meantime. I don't know why Robert's not on there yet, but I'm sure he'll be on there any minute. So yeah, he says starting in 4 minutes. So I'm putting good. People are already going on there. They're saying hi from our channel. So that's awesome, guys. Put it in a chat one more time here. I'm going to play our outro, and I hope to go over there and see you over there. So I hope you enjoyed this. God bless. Appreciate you as always. Let's enjoy the outro, and then let's head over and say hi to Robert, and I'll see you guys over there. God bless. Take care.